All right, here we go again. We have another quadratic inequality with this time with it's x squared plus y less than 2. Just like with linear inequalities, my very first step here is going to be to get this y to be by itself. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract that x squared from both sides, and I'm going to leave my answer in standard form, leaving y less than, I'll put the negative x squared first, plus 2. So I have another parabola. This one will be facing downward, and it'll be shifted up 2. But just because I need to tell Alex more specific things, I'm going to go ahead and throw down 5 points. I know it's just a parabola shifted up or down, so I'll put a 0 smack dab in the middle. The two numbers that are less than that, the two numbers that are more than that, and I'll be very careful when I plug this in. I will say it's not uncommon for kids to make mistakes with this, so let me just explain something that happens here. When you have an expression with a negative x squared, you got to think of it like negative 1 times x squared plus 2, which means apply the exponent, multiply it by negative 1, and then add the 2. So that's going to be, if I plug in negative 2 squared is definitely a positive 4. Then I'll apply that negative. I'm going to add 2 to get a negative 2. If I plug in x equals negative 1, I'm going to square it first, so that'll be positive 1. Then apply that negative, so it'll be negative 1. And then add 2, so that'll be positive 1. Plugging in 0, 0 squared is 0 plus 2 is still 2. That's going to be 2. If I plug in 1, 1 squared is 1. Then I'm going to apply that negative plus 2, so I get 1 back. And then you'll see you should get negative 2 for this as well. So I'm going to go ahead and plot these points. We're using whatever tools from Alex I prefer, whether it be the little plotter or the coordinate enter. Negative 1, 1, 0, 2, blah, blah, 2, negative 2. And I got to decide if it's going to be dotted or solid. So based off the fact that this is strictly less than without the little equal sign, I'm going to use a dotted line to graph it. So you would graph it on Alex and then switch it to dashed. And then we're trying to figure out if it's this blue region or if it's this yellow region that this parabola breaks the plane into. Which of these two regions? Since I got the y isolated and the strict says y less than, and if I look at this y-axis, and here's where it hits the y-axis, this way, y is getting larger. This way, y is getting less than. That's what I want. So if I could clean it all up again, my final answer would look something like this, with this part shaded in, because that's the part that has the y going less than. Good luck. That's all I have on that.